Elon Musk has just said, right, he's just come out with it. Lucid, Rivian, you're screwed. You're heading towards bankruptcy. Wow. Shots fired. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel on the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to the new subscribers and welcome back, everyone else. Just want to say a big thank you for your support this year. It's been great having you here on board. And while I can't respond to your comments because, to be honest, it just takes too much of my time creating this amount of videos per day, I can respond to a lot of your messages and posts on Facebook in our private Facebook group. I'll put a link in the description below. Now, if I don't respond to you personally, it doesn't mean I didn't read your comment. It just means that there's only 24 hours in a day, and unfortunately, I have to sleep for about 7 of them. And you know what? It's insane. I really wish days were longer. 24 hours is nowhere near enough in order to get everything done that I need to get done. Anyhow, Musk believes EV startups Lucid and Rivian are headed for bankruptcy unless something changes significantly. And you know what? I hope he's wrong, but I'm afraid he might be right. Musk sat down with Tesla owners Silicon Valley at Gigafactory, Texas, and he made some blunt statements regarding the two hottest EV startups in the US right now, for good reason, right? I mean, to be honest, the Lucid Air, it is a good car. Even if you are a huge Tesla brand fan, or if you're someone who doesn't really like Lucid, it's a good car. There's just no other way of getting around it. Same for the Rivian R1T. Rivian R1T is a brilliant truck. Brilliant. So this is not Elon saying these cars are crap. Elon didn't come out and say, Rivian, your pickup truck sucks. Lucid, your sedan, it's rubbish. He didn't say that. He said they're heading towards bankruptcy. That's an entirely different matter.
GM and Chrysler. So they were in a better financial position. But it remains the case today that the only American car companies that have not gone bankrupt are Tesla and Ford. And, you know, unless something changes significantly with Rivian and Lucid, they will both go bankrupt. They're tracking to bankruptcy. They may not, say like that is currently, like if this were an airplane, they're going like that. So if something happens to go, it's change. Okay, but currently, the intersection with doom. Yeah. So, you know, I hope they are able to do something, but unless they cut their costs dramatically, they are in deep trouble. And we'll end up in the cemetery like every other car.
Unless something changes significantly with Rivian and Lucid, they will both go bankrupt. They are tracking toward bankruptcy. He likened Rivian and Lucid with an airplane nosediving and added that they need to cut their costs dramatically to survive. Now, to put this in context, Elon has said the same thing about Tesla many times. The guy, I don't think he's attacking them intentionally. I think he's a bit like me. He's got maybe slight Asperger's syndrome, just brutally honest, says what he believes. And he said the same thing about Tesla. He said, we've got to cut costs, otherwise we go bankrupt, right? He's made that comment about his own company, and so therefore he's not really necessarily attacking them. He's just being objectively honest when asked a question. He said, I hope they can do something, but unless they can cut their costs dramatically, they're in deep trouble and will end up in the car cemetery like every other, with the exception of Tesla and Ford. It's interesting that Musk mentioned Tesla and Ford as the only EV makers that will survive. That would mean that he's saying General Motors and Stellantis maybe as well are headed down the toilet. So it's interesting. I wonder if Elon reads some of these comments coming from who? Jim Farley, right? Jim Farley is saying we need to do what Tesla's doing. Musk's like, yep, well, this is the only way we can see how it could work. And he sees Ford as being the company in the US that will succeed alongside Tesla. Is he then, therefore, saying like what I just said? GM, you're screwed. You know what? Rivian, GM, Lucid, Stellantis, maybe all of them go bankrupt. Maybe that's what he thinks. I think he probably does think that. Now, later in the interview, Musk also said his advice to Rivian would be to cut costs immediately across the board dramatically, or they are doomed. You gotta love the very graphic language that he uses. I find it quite entertaining, honestly. Now, during this wide-ranging discussion, Musk also commented on Rivian's price hikes applied earlier this year. He noted that when you increase the price, you reduce the number of people who can afford the vehicles exponentially. Now, some people are saying that these comments are coming off as quite harsh. They're saying that Elon Musk is attacking his competition. They're saying that he's being petulant, that he's being overly negative. I actually don't think he's that kind of guy. I think he just tells what he thinks. I don't think he's intentionally trying to harm these companies. I think he's just being asked a question and being brutally blunt and honest. Rivian does lose money on every vehicle it makes. And many industry analysts, auto manufacturing experts, and even CEOs from rival car makers believe the R1T and the R1S are underpriced even after recent price hikes. I mean, Sandy Munro is one of them himself. He bought one and he's looked at it, right? He takes the thing apart and he's like, this thing should be more than $100,000 US. Why is he saying that? Because he realizes what it costs to make, right? If it costs more money to make than you can sell it for, then you're in trouble. At the same time, Rivian does have over 17 billion US dollars cash on hand. At the end of the last quarter, that was. They are burning through it pretty quickly, which it deemed enough to allow it to start producing its next generation R2 series of vehicles at the new plant it will build near Atlanta, Georgia. Now, you've all seen my video, right, where I said I invested in Rivian. Well, I'm sure many of you have. I invested in Rivian. The stock price bounced back up a bit. I sold the stock. So I don't have any Rivian stocks now. None at all. I lie. I've got $2 of Rivian stock right now. That's it. Am I saying the company's going to go bankrupt? I'm not. But at the time, I said they need to do a few things differently. One of those was what Elon is saying. Reduce costs, make their manufacturing much more efficient. One of the ways that they can reduce costs is by using lithium iron phosphate batteries. Incredibly, within a week of me making that videos, Rivian actually announced that they are going to use lithium iron phosphate batteries in their vehicles. That could be a significant way that they can reduce costs of their vehicles, but they need to do a lot more than that, as evidenced by what Sandy Munro was saying as well. What about Lucid? Well, it ended the first quarter of 2022 with close to $5.4 billion cash on hand, which it expected to fund it well into 2023, according to Lucid CFO Sherry House. The EV startup also raised prices across most models starting on June the 1st of 2022. The other thing to consider, there's two big things here that I don't think Elon has really thought through. One of those is, right, who is the big daddy of Rivian? Is it RJ Scaringe, or is it really the second richest man on the planet? Yeah? Is it Jeff Bezos or RJ? I think it's Jeff. Do you think Jeff is going to allow this company to go bankrupt? I don't think he is. I think he's going to buy most of the company out. Maybe we call it Amazon Motors, right? But you get my point, right? It's going to take a lot of money to save this company. But Jeff Bezos has a lot of money. So whether or not they go bankrupt, they may, but I don't see it happening without first Jeff owning a majority of the company. What about Lucid? Well, who owns the majority of Lucid? Saudi Arabian government. Do you really think the Saudi Arabian government is just going to let them go bankrupt? Well, they may, but first they're going to sunk cost bias the hell out of this thing and invest billions of dollars into the company until they pretty much own the whole thing. It's a US company. Saudi Arabia will have the privilege of owning one of the most prestigious EV branded US companies. And I'm willing to bet that they're going to invest many billions of dollars into this company. Now, obviously, Lucid have announced that they're going to be building a factory in Saudi Arabia to build electric cars. That is, to me, a terrible decision. There is not the supply chain, the battery supply chain, the parts supply chain, the automotive supply chain needed in order to build EVs at an effective cost in Saudi Arabia. There's not even the market. How many people in Saudi Arabia can afford a big $100,000 sedan? Not many. And people there, you know what they love? They don't love sedans. Look at the market. Look at the market numbers. They love SUVs. Rivian do not make any SUVs. As far as I know, they don't have any real immediate plans to make any either. To be honest, both of these companies, I don't see them making a profit. Possibly ever. But that doesn't mean they're going to go bankrupt before 2030. In fact, considering who's backing them, they're pretty unlikely to go bankrupt this decade, in my view. Let me know, though, in the comment section below what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.